become very tempting with a virtual full employment. The full employment is usually between 4 and 5% nationally. We're at 3.9% nationally, which means we're at full employment. That means it's going to be harder to get people. Please do not shirk on checking out people. Make sure that you know as much as you can about somebody, because the time to do it is before that you put them on your payroll. It's really important. There's an increasing number, folks, of vendors that will do background checks for you. And I'm not out here to shill for anybody, so I'm not going to mention any names, but there are online services and there are plenty of services in Houston, Texas. We actually recommend a couple agencies to our clients that will do full background checks, real live background checks, including interviews and stuff. And it's fairly economical. It's like $100 or $130. And it's a very well spent money. If you do not have the staffing in-house to check people out, do this. Now, there's a hot issue on this right now, and it's in several of your states, so you need to be careful. There's a movement called Ban the Box. Sounds almost funny. Ban the box, what does that mean? You know, if you're driving around in cities like Houston, they're very congested, they have a box on a sign that says, don't block the darn intersection, you know, stop before, you know, don't stack yourself up in the intersection, block traffic going the other way, which happens in a lot of busy cities. Ban the box, however, means that you can't ask on the application form if the person has a criminal conviction. So watch out for that. If you're in a location or a state that has banned the box, you need to take it off your application form. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't check, but you have to make an employment offer subject to the background check, and you do the background check after you make the employment offer. The background check comes back and they flunk it, then you don't complete the offer. So watch out. But for most states, including Virginia and Texas, the two states where I work nationwide on consulting, but I only work in 2 states as an attorney, is in the 2 states I work as an attorney, we don't have ban the box, and I want that on the form. Now, does that mean you should never hire anybody who's got a criminal record? Absolutely not. And again, in a tight labor market, we're going to scooch that a little bit. What the issue is somebody's African American, they were 18 years old, and they got busted for shoplifting. It's on their record. It's going to come up. And so if you use that against them and they're 35 years old and they've had a clean criminal record since then, you're going to be viewed as discriminating. It's not complicated. But you need to know the information. The other thing I want to talk about in terms of checking employees out is credit checks. Generally speaking, we're not recommending financial background checks unless the person handles money. If the person handles money, you have a reason to do it, and you can do it. And by the way, folks, you as employers cannot get a FICO score. You're not going to get a simple number, oh, the person has a 500 FICO score, I'm not hiring them. It's not going to look like that. You're actually going to get a raw credit report. Again, you may want to have a consulting firm that looks at it. But again, we're not recommending running them unless the person actually handles money. It's just not productive, and it again creates issues where people come back and say you're discriminating against people. So that's the reason that we want you to be careful about that. Company vehicles, many of your field service people and your salespeople drive vehicles. You must do a vehicle record check. Now, what we found is most of my clients, the insurance company, their liability insurance company is doing it for them. So they're going to do it at least once a year, and that's how a lot of my clients are finding out that Charlie got his 3rd DUI. How did we know that? Because the insurance company sent them a letter saying, Charlie's off your insurance. That's scary, folks. That means Charlie's off your insurance, meaning if he has an accident, if you haven't located another insurance company, he's uninsured and he's driving your vehicle. So it's really important to know vehicle records, and sadly you may need to terminate people if they've run up too many and they need to drive solo. Very few of us can afford to have a person drive somebody who's gotten in trouble on driving. We usually have one person in a truck. If that's true, and that is true for most of you, this person's going to get his third DUI, he's going to be off the payroll until he's insurable again. And there's no apology needed, and that will be an excuse under unemployment, by the way.